and welcome, boxing fans, to Las Vegas. We are just minutes away from one of the most anticipated and important fights in all of world's history.
Well, that's right, Clarence. We're finally going to get a chance to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather square off, and perhaps a few years too late, but better than late than never. I'm just so excited.
You know what? I'm sick of people saying that Jonesy, Pac-Man, and Money are still the two best fighters on the planet, and the years have just added to the drama. I think we're getting ready to see World War III, 4, and 5.
Your lips to God's ears, my friend. Here they come.
Oh, my goodness. Boxers don't get older, they just get meaner, Jonesy.
I checked in with the commission this morning, and Manny Pacquiao will not be allowed to wear his breathing apparatus in the ring. How is his chronic pneumonia going to play into this bout?
It'll play a role, no doubt, but more pivotal than that, Mayweather's grandchildren haven't visited him in over 6 months.
Wow.
Oh, Money is distraught, and we may see a will get updated mid-fight.
Well, you know what? That might work out for us.
Fingers crossed.
Keep saying good things about him. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at BSTV and our pre-fight coverage.
Hey, stay tuned for the main event. It's the box score. Starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward's the box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danette in Milford, Connecticut. The biggest weekend in sports thus far this year is now come to an end, and the fight that was or wasn't the Mayweather-Pacquiao is also a distant memory. Now, Paulie, you've said from Jump Street that you were not interested in this fight at all, but you ended up watching it. Why the flip-flop?
Yeah, it comes off very hypocritical. I even thought about that as it was going on. I wasn't being very realistic with myself. As a producer of a sports show, I don't know, I kind of got to watch the fight. It's one of the bigger topics of the year, one of the bigger sporting events of the year. I didn't want to order it. I felt just, where I was, it was just kind of like the middle of nowhere. One of my friends during the middle of the day said, hey, this bar has the fight, let's go over. I'm like, oh, great, that's really simple. It's literally a quarter mile from my house. And it was really easy to do. That being said, the fight played out just like I thought. At maybe a C- at best, but it was important to see it for today's show.
Fritzy, why didn't you jump over to Jordan's sleepover, say you had to check on him, and then peek in on the fight?
You know what? That might have been a good idea. I was trying to respect what was going on across the street. It was a kids-only party. I'm sure the mom and dad, if they were staying up, were watching it. But this was a sleepover party for Jordan and his 12 and 13-year-old friends. I got updates round by round, which sounds very pathetic, but that was how I was getting information, whether it be the bottom line on ESPN or Jordan putting in his commentary with text round by round. But did not see the fight, and that was how I was getting my updates through a 12-year-old's slumber party.
Well, the fight was a star-studded event, gentlemen, and the celebs were out in force. And your boy Reggie Miller called in and talked about the one celebrity that he wanted to meet.
I'm just going to tell you the one person this is me, that I was excited to meet just because I am a fan. I love the show Homeland, and I am a huge Claire Danes fan. To me, I was excited to meet her. I'm sorry, I know that's not big enough for you,
No, it's
but
not.
I think she's a great actress. I love Homeland, and I love Claire Danes.
Now, I'm figuring that Reggie became a huge Claire Danes fan back in the My So-Called Life era, which obviously gave us Jared Leto, right? Isn't that his name? What an odd thing by Reggie Miller.
That was odd.
Claire Danes?
Is it odd that he lied and didn't say that he started liking her in the My So-Called Life days?
Homeland sounds a lot cooler,
Yes.
but everyone started watching Homeland because they watched My So-Called Life.
And there were a lot of big stars there. To say Claire Danes, that's not had to be genuine there, because you don't make that one up.
I'll tell you, I don't always go first-tier celebrities when you say, who do I want to meet? Because, Don Cheadle is very cool and seems like a guy you'd want to meet because you could actually have fun and probably hang out with him, have a beer, and joke about the fight. I would like to meet Don Cheadle over, Tom Brady. Right. I bet Cheadle will be much more fun to hang with.
Yeah, I know, because Brady's going to be guarded. You're not going to get any time.
But now, what about MJ? He may be really quiet, but it's Michael Jordan. You're a Chicago
I met Michael
guy.
Jordan before, so
Did you have
I've
a
never
conversation?
Yes, but I've never met Clint Eastwood. We've had on the phone before, but never in person. But yeah, that's Affleck we've had on, but not in person.
Could you see Reggie though, all 6 foot, How tall is he?
6'6", 6'7".
Little Claire Danes.
Right? Oh my God, she's on the best TV show ever! Geeking out with all of these like huge. Oh my God!
And what if she knows nothing about sports? What if she's just like, why is this tall guy just accosting me?
Gigantic man.
Yeah.
I'm sure I have to explain who he is.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put this, so I'm just going to tell you. I was out there in Vegas and was able to sneak into that pre-party with all the celebrities. Walked right up to Reggie Miller and shook his hand. So, Fritzy, what's the problem with meeting that guy? I mean, you know him personally. It seemed really easy for me.
Yeah, you got to catch him at the right time, I guess. Several things happened that were a problem. One, it was right at the end of halftime, and he was broadcasting the game and had to get back and take his position for his TV work. Secondly, I didn't exactly say who I was or my affiliation. I just kind of really quick, as he was running by, tried to give him knocks and say, "Hey, Reggie," and I'm sure he gets that like 10,000 times a day, certainly at a sporting event. So I didn't really give Reggie an ample opportunity to, recognize or see who I was. So I'm sure if I did, he'd take a minute and would have said hi, hopefully, to my wife and kids at least, even if he was going to blow me off.
Brock, did you attend the fight, and how did that come to be?
I was able to attend tickets or grab tickets. I have a friend of a friend of a friend, and it was fun. The seats were decent. Sat next to some lovely people and just had a blast. So I can say the fight itself was okay, but the revelry surrounding it up in the stands was even better. If Reggie Miller meeting Claire Danes was off the wall, you can only imagine Don Cheadle wanting to meet this person was even more bizarre.
I take pictures with my friends, but I don't take pictures with people who I don't know who just happen to be celebrities. But I did see Jordan Spieth, and I did run across the aisle and wanted to take a picture with him. So I took a picture with Jordan Spieth. That's the one guy.
So of all the guys there, you're going to pick a 21-year-old golfer.
Jordan Spieth. That's the person whose picture I wanted.
That's pretty cool. I love when people go off the board, and we've had Cheadle on before, and he loves golf. I bet he's one of those guys who probably plays 18 a day when he's not working. So you never know. And Jordan Spieth 5 years from now could be nowhere or could be everywhere, and I guess you want to get in early. That's pretty cool.
Fritzy, if you could be any one of the Avengers, who would you choose?
Ooh, any one of the Avengers. I'm going to say Robert Downey Jr. As Iron Man, only because I just think he's got that wacky dark side that I would love to tap into.
Do you know the other Avengers that you were choosing?
I couldn't name all the Avengers. I know Cheadle.
I
know Cheadle.
Not
I know
the
Robert
actor.
Downey Jr.
And Cheadle's not an Avenger.
The only one I know of is
War Machine.
Thor. Right? Isn't he one of the Avengers? But other than that, I don't have a clue.
I don't know. I thought you were asking me who plays the Incredible Hulk.
Do you know the
and all those
characters?
guys. I saw, I don't know who Scarlett Johansson, what female character she plays, but I know they got the Incredible Hulk running by.
Were you guys like comic
Some
book
other
She's
guys.
Wonder Twins, I think.
Wonder Twins.
Whoa, activate.
I could sci-fi nerd out here for days. I wanted to
It's
see.
redundant, sci-fi nerd out.
I wanted to see the movie this weekend, but couldn't because there was too much sports on. But I'm telling you, you guys just do not like. You don't like Game of Thrones. You're not even happy that it's May the 4th, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. God, you guys nothing.
We're so narrow-minded.
There's nothing. You could not. I'm like, name the Avengers. You're like, I heard Scarlett Johansson.
Luke
She's not
Skywalker, Han Solo.
She's a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's not an Avenger.
So is Iron Man an Avenger?
Yes. Iron Man,
Silver
Thor,
Surfer?
Hulk. Silver Surfer is not an Avenger.
Captain America
Captain America.
is an Avenger.
Yes.
What's the difference between the Green Lantern and the Green Hornet?
And
That
the
is
Green
a
Arrow.
Great question.
And
We're
it's a
gonna have
brown
to do that
hornet
off.
also, in
We're
fact,
gonna have to go
with
offline
Cosmos.
with
Chop it
that
up
one.
later, yeah.
One of them is like super eco-friendly.
Shazam?
All I have to tell you is they're all very profitable.
You know who needs to be
True
Avenger?
story.
Captain Obvious. You could join the Avengers. Be in their next movie. Hey,
There you
the
go.
boss is actually looking forward to being in another movie himself, another Sandler flick, of course. You know who needs to be in that flick? Yeah, the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Cast this big bad boy. Leading man, action, doesn't matter, rom-com, he can do it all. Tow a boat, climb a hill. You want to look at his IMDb page? Yeah, you go to ramtrucks.com. You get his list of Oscars. Guts, Glory, Ram.
He told me he had another movie role for me in July in Savannah.
Okay, great.
But he didn't say anything about you guys.
Cool down there in July.
Yeah, it ought to be really cool in Savannah. But, we'll see.
That's the thing about him, though. Sometimes he says he's got movie roles for you, and then it turns out he doesn't.
Welcome back to the box score. The boss is off this weekend shooting another scene in the Sandler movie, but none for you. Seton, will you guys ever appear in another Sandler flick?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I don't believe that's ever gonna happen again, especially because we were promised parts in this ridiculous Six movie that was sealed with a hug.
What specific things that might be going on in it?
But off air, he said it on air, said all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Because there were specific things about getting on a horse, and there was a fight scene with teenagers.
He
there was
did
2 or 3
say
specific
these things
moments.
before we filmed Pixels, so maybe we were so terrible with Pixels
and then he nixed
that he
it
was
'cause of-
like, they're just not in any more movies. They're terrible.
I mean, I understand if it's a cost-cutting maneuver. It's a cross-country flight. It's not Toronto. But how much can it really? It seems like a big organization, those guys.
Yeah, and there's a lot. Those movie sets are pretty bloated. There's a lot of places you could trim back, and I don't know.
But maybe we're the place.
Why you should trim back the dreams.
Can I float a
of
theory?
four.
Float a theory. Maybe this wasn't Sandler's call. Maybe it was somebody else's call. Maybe somebody who was very close to us and we work with every day.
Put the bug in his ear. We'll make it sound like it's your
Maybe
fault.
somebody didn't want
my
to
guys
style
can't
cramped
leave
when
the
he was
show.
watching watching the fight with Luke Wilson. Maybe somebody else.
Maybe you know what too? In Pixels, your hair is so great. Who's gonna take the most offense to someone else here having great hair?
And by the way, thank you
guy.
for that. But your laughter in Pixels
and your pen
you
hold.
stole the scene.
Yeah, I had a great pen hold. I'm a little concerned about my leg cross. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't think that would be enough as a deal breaker.
I think the future looks bad. Let's put it that way.
I don't see it happening.
It looks grim. Well, only time will tell if the Danettes will ever grace the screen again. Of course, they let Dan know how unhappy they were being left out this weekend.
Worst, not having an opportunity to watch the fight in the Sandman's trailer in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The worst of the weekend was not being in New Mexico for the movie shooting, hanging in Sandler's trailer.
All right, stop. My worst is there were actually pay-per-view problems in Brooklyn and New York with the fight. But you know where there were not pay-per-view problems? Apparently that went directly to trailers in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is where I would have probably preferred to watch it.
My worst of the weekend seems pretty obvious. I mean, it's really just confirmation that it was 2 and done at this point,
With
right?
the movies?
Yeah. I mean, I think.
Well, you guys had a good movie career.
Yeah, that's disappointing. I'm still trying to hold out a little bit of hope that at some point we'll, even though we've been coming across as kind of unappreciative, it's like we had 1 and then there was 2 and now we want 3 and 4. Next thing you know, one of us is going to, ask for an actual speaking part in one of the Sandman's movies.
I got an idea. Why don't we put ourselves out there now as free agents?
Ooh.
I mean, there's a lot of good comedians out there who do movies.
Is there like a rival?
Will Ferrell's a popular guy. He makes good movies.
Sandman won't want to lose us and he'll bring us back.
Louis C.K. needs some extras for his TV show.
Ooh, little power play.
Yeah, or we can go next
Maybe
level.
we should get like an entertainment type agent that can shop us out to movies.
Just for extras roles.
Extra work. Featured extra work.
And we go back to Sandler and say, hey, but before
If
we
you
go,
think about it,
first
we're the
refusal.
biggest bargain in all of Hollywood media. You pay us almost nothing, literally. You put us up for a day or 2. All of a sudden, you got national airtime on a popular sports radio and TV show
Some
promoting your
peanuts,
movie.
pretzels, maybe a little Chinese food sitting out
Sandler's
there.
been doing that with us for years, and Dan specifically, and now we could change camps.
I think the power play.
Should we just? I don't know if we should be talking about this on air, but should we just cut off talking about Sandler movies?
No, because he has been good to us. I don't think that's fair. We always got to keep our options
Well, I
open.
certainly look forward to discussing Pixels coming out July 24th.
So I say we talk about Pixels,
but
and then we sort of.
after that, I'm not really sure he has anything going on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like that.
All right, coming up, we're kicking the week off like we always do with the mock headline Battle Royale. We are back here on the box score. Monday is officially here, and what better way to recap the most anticipated sports weekend in the year thus far than with a box score tradition? It's time for
Mock headline Battle Royale.
You know the rules. Let's do this. First headline: Floyd Mayweather beats Manny Pacquiao by decision in the Super Duper fight. Paulie, please start us off.
Floyd, all null and void. Say anything except that this turkey is going to be a rematch.
Whoa, null and void.
Boom. Say anything?
Yeah,
Step it.
That's a punch right in the face.
Distant Malibu.
See your headline, please.
Oh, my headline. Great, I have to follow that one. Pacquiao. Mayweather's the storm, Mano y Manio.
Mano y Manio.
Oh, squirrely.
Yeah, Mano y Manio.
Oh, Princey, please.
Mano y Manio.
I went with Yawn Again. Fight of the Century wasn't exactly a religious experience.
Yawn again?
Born again, going again.
Yawn Again.
They don't rhyme.
I'm with that, yes.
McLovin.
Okay, I asked the judges to judge all 4 of my headlines together as one organic unit here. First one, super fight. More like I was super fighting back yawns at Super Yawn Fest.
Oh, Yawn Kid.
Double yawner.
Headline number
had the same
2.
shirt on.
Clippers edge Spurs in dramatic Game 7 of the Western Conference quarterfinals. McLovin, you have the con.
Clippers, more like zippers, as someone finally zipped up the body bag on the Spurs.
Give him a body bag, McLovin. Fritzy, your headline.
Paul Bearer, Chris helps bury defending champs. Now we're getting somewhere.
All right. Look, you guys going deaf beat.
Paulie, your submission, please.
Spurned. San Antonio taps out early versus the pesky Clippers. Spurned.
Spurned.
Oh, no,
Yeah. First one's great.
Western Conference Crinals. After getting clipped by LA, Pop looks to spur seating change.
Did you say crinals?
Crinals. He was whining.
Crinals.
The level of difficulty.
And it was the first round, for God's sake.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't even close to
The third headline on the day is American Pharaoh wins the 141st running of the Kentucky Derby. Seton, right back at you.
Kentucky Slurby. Bob's baffled by character attacks on winning horse.
Slurby.
Are you drunk?
It's possible, I still am. Kentucky Slurby. Bob's baffled.
Even better the second time. Paulie, your headline.
What character attacks?
The horse has no Preaknesses. American Pharaoh dominates the Derby. Preaknesses.
Instead of weaknesses.
Oh! Yeah, pretty good.
Whoa, that's a harsh.
McLovin.
American Pharaoh? More like American Psycho. This horse is crazy good.
All right, Christian, bail him out here. Fritzy, your headline.
Pharaoh Fawcett, hot horse, turns it on, leaves competition all wet.
Yeah, Pharaoh Fawcett, yeah.
Pharaoh Fawcett.
Pharaoh Fawcett.
Oh, Pharaoh.
Pharaoh Fawcett. Turn on the
R.I.P. Pharaoh. All right, fourth and final headline. Alex Rodriguez ties Willie Mays with a 660th career home run. Fritzy, have at it.
I went Vilestone. Cashman Yank, sickened by A-Rod, won't pay bonus. Vilestone. Like mine. Wow, I thought that was my best one.
McLovin, round off your organic headlines.
A-Rod, more like A-Fraud. Is that a headline? More like that joke is a deadline.
Holy smoke.
See, I did it all more like.
You just weaved yourself a tapestry of
suckage.
Crack.
That was Rich. Seton, please.
Will he say, hey, kid, Maysby, I thought you were going to stop hitting home runs or something? Maysby. It's kind of a callback from last week. Maysby, will he say, hey, kid, Maysby?
I'm surprised the New York Post didn't use that.
Yeah.
Paulie, close us out.
All right. Willie, just go away. D-bag A-Rod passes Mays.
D-bag. Oh, snap.
That is a solid headline. All right, the mock headline champion this week
That's gotta be a
is
four-way tie.
Seton O'Connor. Congratulations.
Yes! Thank you. I'm going to share this with my three counterparts here because I thought we were all equally terrible this week. But it was fun.
Spread the mediocrity. Share the belt, just like you guys are going to share the New York City Man Cave tomorrow with Rich Eisen. We'll get into that This is the box score, and we are taking a break to let you know that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, it doesn't need one. Doesn't have any roommates. It stands alone. It's got a 3-bedroom. It's got the whole place to itself. Guts, glory, Ram. We're closing up shop here at the box score. I could use a drink after that headline battle royale. You guys might need a drink after tomorrow's show. You're letting the Rich Eisen show slide in right after you. Paulie, any nerves on making this transition to his show?
Nerves? No, they should be nervous. They're coming in to a hostile environment.
We got the home court advantage.
We've had meetings and talked to them where we said all the right things, that we welcome them and help their transition. But I mean, come on, let's not kid each other. I mean, it's not going to be comfortable for them if I had anything to say about it.
You might not be able to see the members of the Rich Eisen show because they're filling some awfully big chairs, so they might get lost in the big chairs.
We're gonna leisurely clean up our stuff and computers and get out of the chairs while it's getting very close to showtime, and they're waiting anxiously for us to get up so they can get their stuff situated seconds before they're going on.
I think we should have another 3 conference calls about it.
I'll tell you, Brock, it is awkward from a technical standpoint. We have a really great roomy studio there, but we don't kind of have a side studio that you could work in the back. And so it will be interesting to see how people react to being out of their usual environment. More them than us, because they're usually doing their show every day out there in Los Angeles, and we've used a studio in New York a bunch of times. So you're going to learn a lot about people's temperament tomorrow.
McLovin, how quickly do you check out of those conference calls?
Oh, immediately. I mean, I don't want to share any details, but these may be some of the dumbest conference calls I've ever been involved in my life. That is all I'm going to say.
There's a lot to choose from.
Actually, you know what? They're all equally dumb. Any conference call involving logistics. I know they're necessary, but...
So let me get this straight. So you guys are sitting, and then when the show's there, you guys are going to get up.
And then walk away, and then we'll sit.
Now what's going to happen is you're going to hover over the chair, then you're going to go down like that with your butt. And then you will be sitting.
You know, guys, I think you're all really embarrassing yourselves. These things are really, they're meaningful, they're important, and I wish that you would take your business a little bit more seriously. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Oh, you are. The way I brown-nosed Dan, you're just as bad.
That means the boss is in town for dinner tonight.
Take that.
Oh, my God.
Well, Seton, you're changing seats with Del Tufo, both technical jobs. I mean, do you do any, is there more setup on your part?
Well, no, I actually don't have anything to do either. I probably have less to do with that than normally. So I'm just gonna sit there, act like I'm running an imaginary board that I really don't do anything with, and then I'm gonna get up and go to hit a food truck.
I think the tough part for us is, what do we do? When they take over the show and we're out, we usually don't just walk out and go home. Should we do what we normally do, which is usually put on Stripes, good Bill Murray movie, order a bunch of food,
Born Identity, something like that.
Yeah, sit around, talk a little bit, chop it up.
I think that we should, just as much as they say they interrupt our last segment, maybe we should be just as interruptful in their first segment.
Fair enough.
Interruptful.
All right, well, we'll hope for some sort of disaster. All right, Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will join us fresh off his victory in I believe, the Geico 500.
I'm not in sponsors. Talladega.
It's in Talladega.
Just call it Dega.
We have Buck Showalter in studio. Rich Eisen, as we mentioned, will be joining us towards the end of the show in studio for the transition of our show to theirs. And Pedro Martinez has a new book, Pedro, of all things.
Can't wait.
He will be joining us as well in studio.
That's going to be stellar. Thank you, gentlemen. And, of course, tomorrow, since Eisen is coming right after, we're going to show a best of Shorty, so everyone relax and enjoy that. We are back on Wednesday right here on Audience Channel 239. The podcast available on iTunes or podcast1.com.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy